How's it going, my fellow silver degenerates? Tommy stacking.nyc coming at you tonight, Tuesday night, YouTube night, with my fellow silver degenerates. We've had some great conversations over the last couple of weeks. We'll give it a minute, let a couple people come on in. All right. Hit that like button. Let me know you're here. Say hello. Hi, Dean Ellis in the house. Come on, guys, hit that like button. Let me know you're here. Make a comment. Tonight, we're going to talk about collectible silver. Hey, Chris, how are you? Shreky Lou. Really good to see you guys. I really like these YouTube nights. They're smaller than like the Instagram lives. What's up, Lauren? Outlaw Coin Creations, very talented artist right there. Silver Trident Metals, someone who likes collectibles himself, right? You like a lot of the collectible stuff. You've bought quite a bit. So does Dean Ellis. But a lot of you guys like the collectible silver. And, I thought it's a good conversation to have on the day that I released the Minotaur. And I'm going to tell you guys the story of me getting the Minotaur and kind of how I got jammed up a little bit and encountered some obstacles that I didn't expect. So when I heard about the Minotaur, I was so excited. I mean, I saw this piece and I was like, great. From one of my wholesalers, she's like, Tommy, this piece is hot, blah, blah, blah. And I said, I'm definitely getting some, and my plan was to do the pre-sale post that I did today. And when I talked to him today, he said, Tommy, this has been one of the fastest selling pieces we've ever done. He said, basically on release, they're sold out from the mint. We've basically sold our mintage capacity, the 2,000. Basically, that means that all 2,000 are now in dealers' hands. Okay. So I said, well, how many can you get from me? He said, 10. I said, no, you're kidding me, right? He said, no, I'm serious. I can get you 10. And he says, honestly, he says, you're a newer account and be lucky that you got the 10. So that was a little bit frustrating to me, and it was a little bit discouraging, but have no fear. My wholesale networks run deep. So one of the first things I did was, okay, I got my 10. I set the post at the price I got the 10. Now listen carefully. And now I start scrambling for more. So now I know other dealers that get allocations. They're called allocations, right? So if you have a limited mintage as a wholesaler, right? Or even as a retailer, sometimes you give a preference to people who are already in on a series. Poor artists are very well known for this. For example, I think the first poor artist that did it and did it well was Jaeger Poured Silver, probably the godfather, if there were one, of poured silver. And of course, MK Bars really raised the bar, no pun intended, or pun intended, and really changed the game and up the game. But one thing that David Jaeger did from Jaeger Poured Silver was he would do limited pieces. Probably the first artist that did that, and he would number them. Let's say 1 to 100 or 1 to 200 or whatever. Now, David Jaeger started a forum online, and that forum to this day has a couple thousand members. It's an old school forum, private. My computer is beeping at me. So it's a private forum, and this is brilliant. So he said, okay, he would release, numbers 1 through 200, for example, and people would claim the numbers. Now, what does that mean, right? So, okay, I'm going to buy number 1, David. I'm going to buy number 2. I'm going to buy number 7. Can I get number 53? Oh, my lucky number is 77. My lucky number is, people love 69. They love, triple digits. So I want 111. And he would say, okay, now every run I come out with, you're entitled to that number of another piece, for example. So once you bought into 1, you're always entitled to number 1. or number 2 or number 5 or number 111 or number 77 or whatever double deuce, whatever your lucky number is, right? And it was really brilliant to help keep a strong collector base engaged. Okay, so these are things that raise collector value, desirability in terms of number, in terms of this, in terms of that, and limiting mintage, of course, right? But when you're not dedicating a number to a person, how do you do this fairly as like a wholesaler with 2,000 pieces? If you're a wholesaler and you have 20 different retailers, how do you decide who's going to get what? On a hot piece, first guy might be like, bin 2,000, right? To use IG terms. I'm going to try, Terry. Trust me, I'm going to try. So I will break the good news. Having reached out to other dealers who were allocated blocks of the labyrinth, okay, I was able to secure 45 more. That's the good news. The bad news is that's not nearly enough for everybody on the post. The other bad news is because I'm getting it from another dealer, I got to see how much he's going to jack me on the price. And it's scary because this has sold so fast that there's already seems to be secondary market horse trading going on. So I don't know. In 1 week, the value of the coin might be $200. I'm just making that up. However, what he charges me will be on him, and it's up to me to accept. And I'll have to reach out to the people in order as best I can, those 45 additional people after the 10, to ask them if they want it, if there's an increase in price. So this is... Oh, well, thank you, Gold's Color. Gold's Color, I'm Tommy. What's your name? Are you from IG or are you YouTube anonymous? I don't mean that sarcastically. I know that's more of a thing on YouTube than it is, for example, on Instagram. But I know like Dean Ellis and Jill and Terry and Mike and Chris and a lot of my IG people, Sean Berry, Peg Leg, right there. Great people. If there is demand, the value will increase. You know, and that's one of the things I want to talk about. I want to talk about, hey, JP Metals. Is that JP Metals? You know, one of the things I want to talk about is, do you know? Oh, Hammer Stacker. There we go. Jeff, how are you? Bourbon Stacker, what's going on? I see JP. I think JP Metals. But I got you, Jeff. You know, do you know what you have in your stack? And how do you value a collector's piece? How do you know if you even have a collector's piece? Hey, Nate, how are you? Good to see you. You know, and this is also coming on the heels, and I'm going to do a sneak peek, guys, of something I will have in tomorrow's auction for you. But, you know, this is another piece, and we'll talk more about the maze, the labyrinth, right? The Minotaur's Labyrinth. But this is another piece. The crocodile, right? Another PAMP program through the Solomon's Islands. All right. Frank the Tank. I love it. So I'm going to pull this piece out, and I'm going to, there's a reason you'll see what I'm getting to about, do you know the value? Not all series are created equally. And not every piece in a series is created equally. And I thought this was a great opportunity to talk about the crocodile, because this piece, I've been selling it for $89. It's a beautiful, beautiful 1 ounce piece. These are the PAMPs. They're limited to 2,500. These are, Mike, these are really killer in hand. I'm really pleased with the crocodile. So for those of you that don't know, okay, we'll keep talking about this. Hey, Kevin, how are you? Nice croc indeed. I do have a few of these in hand. This is the 3rd series that PAMP has done with shaped coins. For those of you that don't know, let me see if I can find one. Give me 1 second. You guys tell that I do a lot from the hip. There was the Hunters of the Deep series I'm sorry, Hunters of the Sky and Hunters of the Deep, Predators of the Deep, whatever, you know it. Nate, that's exactly where I'm going. So if you look up these pieces, once they go secondary market, they're in the wild, right? Value changes. When I sold the Great White, I think I probably sold. All right, let me digress. So let's start with the Shark series. They issued 3 sharks in the series. It was the Great White, the Hammerhead, and the Tiger Shark. Okay. Oh, tell your wife I said hi, Terry. I look forward to meeting her soon, I hope, in Texas. Now, what happened? Now, all the 3 pieces of the series are limited to 2,500. The first piece in the Hunters of the Deep Sharks, right, was the Great White. And I think it was probably about 2 years ago. I probably sold close to 100 of them, and they were right around $90. $90. Okay. These are the recent sold prices on eBay. These are sold. I know it's hard to see, so I'll read them. $200 plus $8 ship, $200 plus $12 ship, 110 plus 425. That guy must feel like a sucker. Sorry, I don't mean it like that. 200 best offer accepted, 200 best offer accepted. Auction 191.50 plus ship. Auction 202.50 shipped. 200 best, right? You get the idea. The average price here sold on eBay, which is the only place you're pretty much going to find these, I'm sorry, I don't even have up the Great White. I have the Eagle, but the principle still applies. The Eagle is like $200. It's like $200 for the Eagle. Now, the Eagle's the first in the Hunters of the Sky series. Okay. But the same applies. Sorry, I'm going back and. All right, give me 1 second. The same applies to the Sharks, right? You see the Great White asking $240, $300 asking, right? Meanwhile, the Hammerhead asking $150. Okay, so there are a couple points to be taken from this. Number one, not all series are equal, but not all pieces in the series are equal either. Guys, which one usually, and this will be part of a discussion with speculation, but which one usually retains and gains and appreciates the most? Which piece in the series? I'll give you a clue. In the case of the Hunters of the Deep, it was the Great White. In the case of Hunters of the Sky, it was the Eagle. Number one typically does better. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Number one typically does better. Think Spider-Man. Think Spider-Man. Now, if you look around, you're seeing Marvel coins going for $50, $60, and you say, oh, my Spider-Man's worth $60. Sadly mistaken. Sadly mistaken. The first one in a series is almost always going to do better. Why? I'm a big fan of the crocodile. Although I will say this, okay? I think Pamp was very strategic in this series. If you look at the sharks, Great White, Hammerhead, Tiger Shark. Come on, everybody, Jaws. We all know the Great White, right? We all know the Great White shark. That's the killer shark that eats you when you're in the ocean. That's the shark that gets you if you're a surfer. That's the shark that gets you in the movie theaters in 3Ds, like, right? That's the Great White, man. He's got a reputation. And how about the eagle, the proud symbol of freedom and liberty in America? I mean, that's a no-brainer. Versus the red-tailed hawk and the owl. No disrespect to the red-tailed hawks and the owls of the world. I love you all. But the eagle's the eagle, right? And that's why I think Pamp made a very interesting play. Crocodile, first piece in the series, right? What's piece number 2? Does anybody know? It's the lion. It's the lion. And I'll tell you, if you don't realize how big lions are in the stacking community, I mean, they're featured. Scottsdale. They're featured prominently. Hey, Clint, they're featured prominently on a lot of African nations' coinage. The lion is a powerful symbol for stackers. We love our lions. We do. And to make that the second piece in the series, I think is a really interesting strategic move. Uh, you got them all. The croc is, you mean compared to the sharks and the birds? Yes. The eagle is pretty good with the details and the tail feathers. But lions are huge, and I think it's going to be interesting when they come out with a lion. What's going to happen with the croc? Because many people like to keep serious, and some people will say, I just like the lion. I don't care about the croc. So it should be very interesting to see what happens. Will this be a streak broken for first in the series? Will the lion all of a sudden be the $200 piece, and the croc will stay around 100 or 125? You never know. But with these low mintage pieces, you can't go wrong. And honestly, they're fantastic conversation pieces. They're really enjoyable to own, right? And as collectors, it's one of the beautiful things about stacking, as a preservation of wealth. And if you look at it as an investment, there's no other investment you can enjoy. There's no other preservation of wealth you can enjoy the way you enjoy stacking. It's truly unique in that. So, know what's in your stack in terms of a collector's piece. For many decades, coin dealers, particularly shops, have devalued collector pieces. Okay. I can't tell you how many stories I've heard about Libertads being in the dollar over. Well, there's no dollar over bin anymore, but a lot of coin shops used to do dollar over stuff. That would be good, right, Terry? If there was an alien in the UFO shares. But for years, a lot of coin shops would have a dollar over bin, okay? And you could go into coin shops and find Libertads a dollar over. Those days are gone, aren't they? And those are coin dealers that don't know what they have. Somebody told me recently they went in and they were getting marvels at $40. At $40, the guy knew it had a premium, but he didn't realize that the lower end marvels at this point are over 50. That they're over 50, and it goes back to stack as you wish, stack happy. You know, Chibis, that's a whole market. I've mostly stayed out of it, but it's an incredible market. And if you're into the Chibis, hey, Jared Moore, Big Moore in the house, my brother. These are pieces that will hold value. If you think you have a collector piece and you're not sure, is it part of a series? There are some series out there that do very well. World of Dragons, Provident had a lot of great ones. The Privateer series, the Warrior series wasn't as great, but definitely the Dragon series. Some of those coins get $50, $60. Zombucks, the Apocalypse, the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse series. Yeah. There are series out there that if you took it to a coin shop, the dealer may treat them like generic. And I don't like that word anyway. I don't like that word. But you see that? Frank the Tank got his first marvel at a coin shop for $26. I don't remember them ever being like $26. Thank you, Adam. And I'm going to talk about that too for a second. Stacking weight versus collecting, both are important, and I've done many talks, and I think it's an important conversation to have in a chat with collectors. Min Stacking, what's up? Derek in the house. I've had many conversations and done many videos on a balanced stack, even within your preferred metal, right? So diversity is good. It's good to have a little gold. It's good to have a little, I'm a fan of fractional gold, fractional platinum, certainly. And I'm a fan of fractional silver too, because as prices skyrocket, those pieces will maintain their premium always, and they'll just go up in value and they'll become more liquid. So liquidity is always a good thing to have with your metals. If you have a 100-ounce bar, it can be tough to move. If you have a 2-ounce piece of gold, 3-ounce piece of gold, they're out there, right? Hard to move. Not everybody's got $6,000 for a piece of gold. But so diversify your metals, but also diversify your stack within a metal. Different types of ways to stack often react differently to market reactions. What does that mean? Right? So let's say you have collectibles. A lot of times, spot could theoretically drop, but your collectible can keep going up in value. Your buffaloes or your everyday run-of-the-mill pieces will track or constitutional silver will track very closely to spot. I tell people, if you are into prepping, very important to have fractional silver, the smallest possible unit of trade possible, right? Very important. Government bullion, highly recognizable. Numismatics also they're not affected by spot as much, right? So all these things, it's definitely good to have balance, diversity, and in your stack. It's really important. And I think that collector's pieces play a huge role in that, because pieces like this are always going to be art, and there are always going to be people who appreciate art. So that's very important. Most collector's pieces have limited mintage. And not everything has limited mintage is going to go way up in value. There are Disney pieces that just kind of chug along like the little engine they could, and there are Disney pieces that skyrocket, right? One could have you could have one that skyrockets that has a higher mintage than one that's just chugging along, right? It's based on the popularity. And people will say, well, just because it's limited mintage, that doesn't mean anything. Well, I will say that it beats the alternative. If I have a choice between something that has, a mintage of 50 million and a mintage of 50,000, I think my bet is always going to be on the piece with 50,000, especially if it's a strong brand like Disney or Star Wars or, Godzilla or any of those pieces. They have an intrinsic value in their brand and their limited nature, for sure. Just no moderation, just balance. I stack to what I like about the pieces, not new to it. Hopefully, I'm not doing too bad, but thanks to Tommy's help and other silver degenerates, you'll be okay. You'll be okay. Just embrace the silver degenerates process. I've done many videos about it. We all get so excited when we first start and we want to buy the world, and then we just find ourselves tempering, and it'll happen. And we'll find out what we love the most, and that's where we'll end up. But yeah, more about the Minotaur. Guys, 2,000 pieces. I know I'm not going to have enough for everybody, and I'm not sure what my price point is going to be after the 10. I don't think it's going to be anything crazy, because I know what the guy paid for it. If he jacks me too hard, he's in trouble. But so I'm pretty sure it's going to be within a few dollars. Hopefully, I'm praying. And it's an interesting piece. It's one of the fastest selling pieces in PAMP's history in terms of the limited nature. But think about these things, guys. What kind of questions do you have? Master, fractional gold, definitely. Always think liquidity. They always maintain their premium. There's some great collectible gold too. I just got my next batch in today. For those of you that don't know, if you weren't aware of the terracotta warrior piece, What an incredible piece, guys. What an incredible piece. I got to get better lighting if I'm gonna try this one. Let me see if I can get a good angle. It's a very cool piece. It's a half a gram. Hey, Eddie Martinez, numero uno, while eating spaghetti. I would not be surprised if there is, Nate. The Minotaur is really dope. Mythology plays. Let's see if I can get this at the right angle. That's tricky. There's some good pictures on Instagram, guys. You know, Dean Ellis, I've talked about this in the past. I do not. Mike, hit me up on Instagram. Here's what I talk about silver and gold. People have come up with these correlations. They've come up with all these formulas, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having a plan. But here's my question for you. In every bull market, silver has always outperformed gold. If you think we're in a bull market, why would you put any money into gold? Right? Now, that's just performance based, right? And that's why I think people get caught up in these correlations. My holdings are in silver. I do gold because A, people love it. B, actually, I love it too, but not quite as much as silver. And I think silver will continue to outperform gold as it has over the last year. I will possibly be getting some of the grizzly bears. You know, there is no magic formula, DNLS, of gold to silver. You know, people have historically talked about the ratio as a price in terms of spot price, and I don't believe in that. I don't believe in the gold silver ratio. People say, well, when this ratio is this, I'm going to buy more gold. When the ratio is that, I'm going to buy more silver. And I'm going to tell you right now why I don't believe in the gold to silver ratio. Gold is an international medium of exchange. It is the world's non-fiat currency. Silver is an industrial and strategic metal. They are not coupled. They have not been coupled for a very long time, probably since 1964. Silver is not money, okay, and as much except for its value as a commodity. Except for its value as a commodity, okay? Silver is a commodity for solar panels, for technology, for the medical industry, for collectors. I have to throw us in there. And gold is an international medium of exchange. Central banks use it to hedge against inflation of their fiat currency. And that's why I don't necessarily believe in a correlation between the prices as a ratio and as a stack ratio. Like I said, it's personal preference. Some, like, Frank the Tank says 100-1, Mike Chase says 80-20. For me, I'm way closer to Frank the Tank. I mean, if you've ever seen around my vault, you'll see thousands of ounces of silver, and you'll be lucky if you see a few ounces of gold that I haven't sold yet. That was close. But I think these are all important things to consider. The Terracotta Warrior is a piece of a 5,000 only piece of gold, and that's fun. It's nice to have something limited. Oh, I knew it was you, Robert. I could tell by the last name. I could tell by the last name. Yeah, but it's really exciting right now. The Warriors are beautiful for sure. But guys, what kind of questions do you have? That was a good question about the ratio. Do you have any questions about collectors, the series, any series? Do you have any questions about what goes up in value, what doesn't go up in value? Hey, Bodine, I think that's smart, Jeff. I think that's smart because I think if you're gonna buy gold, it's got to be fractional gold. It's got to be fractional gold. It's liquid. So hit me up with some questions, guys, and we're gonna try to keep these Tuesday night lives under 45 minutes always. This has been a brutal week for me. Oh, El Diablo, I know. I do know. I know my people. This is my community. I love you guys. I'm grateful for you every day. Yes, we can do that. The best series in my mind. Oh, that's a tricky one. Devil Dog Dave is using an alias. Guys, there's 27 people in here. I don't see 27 likes. Give me some likes. Give me some likes, guys. The best series. I do have more Crocs. Hit me up on Instagram. Mike, that is a great question. Yeah. So, you want the answer to that question? Thank you for bringing up such a great talking point. So, let's get specific about this with the Labyrinth that I released today. Basically, today was the first time you could sell the Labyrinth, right? Now, PAMP expects you to sell it within a range because they value their product. And they'll give you a wholesale cost. They're happy if you make money, but they want it sold within a range. They don't want it sold for melt, right? But here's an interesting thing that would happen. What happens? 5,000 or something, 2,000 or something, whatever it is. Basically, all the dealers get it at the same time. You can compare it to 2020 libs, right? And I told people, Tommy, you're selling your libs for $40. I see them around for $33. Yes, you do. Mine are 40. Well, why? Because those dealers are in a race to the bottom. So when all these dealers get their inventory, their initial allotment, they all get it at the same time. Whether it's at Metro Jam Bullion or Bullion Exchanges, you name it, they're all getting it at the same time. And despite a lot of speculation out there that these retailers don't sell to jack premiums, they are in the business of moving product, guys. And trust me, they all want to be the first to move it. So a lot of times, a piece can be released, and you'll see the price dip a little bit because the dealers are competing with each other to get rid of the product. I don't play that game. I'll hold it. So, and they do that. And to me, it's scary. But what happens is once they no longer have that product, the secondary market will have its way. Don't confuse me. No problem, Charlie. Let me see. Give me some likes, guys. Give me some likes. Give me some subscribes. How much value can the ultra high pieces gain? That's for the market to determine. That is for the market to determine. What do I think, Perry? I think we're in a 2008 to 2011 cycle. People like anybody like me have been saying things for decades on where they think the price of silver is going to go. I do not like to speculate. I do think I'm seeing very similar dynamics to a 2008 to 2011 cycle. So 2011 silver hit $50 an ounce, and I'm not going to say that's impossible. A series with a lot of hype but failed. So one of the things I think dealers make a mistake with is releasing too much too fast. And I don't know if you can sort of conflate hype with failure on that particular scenario. I'll give you an example. King Kong, Godzilla, Mechagodzilla, Colorized, Proof, 2 coin sets. They released it all like literally the same day, right? We know who they is in this case. The Gods of Olympus series is fire. Some of the most beautiful art. I really like those pieces a lot. So I was a little bit disappointed with the way they released those. They did the same thing with the Peanuts. Ugh. Yeah. Let's see. A good-looking Amish girl that knows how to cook. So I don't know if you can. If, people like to make judgment calls too soon. Silver is forever. Series are forever. People have called the birds failures. That this is a failure, ugly, junk, trash. Yeah, maybe a year later, it's doubled in value. I mean, some of those same people have panned 2021 Eagles. I mean, people have opinions, and everyone's entitled to their opinion, but I'm very careful about expressing mine because none of us have a crystal ball, and we're dealing with a commodity. Hey, Poke Stacker. Check out Charlie Mack and his YouTube page for sure. Boxy, I would say in a way, yes. And there's another interesting thing there. It depends because poor artists are doing more limited work. You don't want to oversaturate a limited market either. Oversaturation is real. When you're talking about art or custom pieces, every artist has their own style. Every artist has their own following. And so I think that's for each artist to decide. I would say you do have to be careful as a poor artist for saturation. You obviously don't want to do too many pieces too fast. The high premiums are a result of high demand and diminished supply because of constraints on the supply line. Okay, mints operating at lower capacity, miners operating at lower capacity due to the pandemic. To a certain extent, I'm starting to not buy it. I'm starting to think that there are just more problems with supply than they're willing to recognize, and that should be interesting to see what happens. The Cryptid series, very good. Yes, Intaglio does a fantastic job on a lot of their series. I will have Type 2s for sale, and we're going to see what we're going to do. Might have some Silver Degenerate slabs coming up. With pandemic, I'm not sure if I disagree. No, guys, don't worry. When I get them, there will be more than enough to go around. I think the premiums are here to stay. So it sort of becomes, like gasoline, right? You start one day, you're filling up your tank for $2. You're filling up for $2. You're like, okay, this is great. I'm filling up my tank for $2, right? Or whatever. $2 a gallon. All of a sudden, it's $2.50. All right. All of a sudden, it's $3. You're like, yeah, man, this is painful. $3.50. Oh my God, I can't believe it. And all of a sudden, it goes down to $3, and you're like, oh, thank God, it's only $3 now. People get conditioned to inflationary levers, and the same thing is happening in the collector world. And whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, the Intaglio Zodiacs are very nice. Or in Cali, it's $4.50. People get conditioned to price points very quickly, and especially in a commodity when there's not much of a choice because you're not going to do better anywhere else. I'm sure I'll be getting the new Simpsons. It's not on my radar yet. As a small operation, I got to be honest, guys. I struggle to keep up with what's hot. What's for sale in the next few weeks? Oh. You said you want to see a sneak peek of something? Oh, okay. Boxy, you in here? Boxy's Precious Metals, are you in here? He's about to be very happy. Are you in here, Boxy? You ever hear of a little company called Fender? This is a sterling silver 5-gram guitar pick. And the reason it's sterling is so that you can play your guitar with it. True story. Adam, reach out to me. I will give you a really good price. If you guys are interested in this Fender, I think they're I got to double check what they want me to charge for these, but I can do a little better for my fellow soda generous. These are playable. So, guys, these are just, ugh, so excited. I just got these in today. Fender. Yep. Very cool piece, guys. I'm going to be having these in stock going forward. Silver you can play with, indeed. So there's another little sneak peek for you guys. YouTube special. Next week, I think I'm going to do a giveaway too, guys. For anybody that's we promote the Tuesday night YouTube, but these pieces are quite special indeed. 5-gram sterling. I got to double check the price point. They're somewhere around $50. Pretty pricey for sterling silver, but that's also been a piece that literally they can't keep up demand. Tuesday Talks with Tommy. Guys, what other questions do you have? Hit me up on Instagram if you're interested in a Fender. Okay, so Robert, I have a thought on that. I prefer pure silver. People don't realize one of the things that we all take for granted and we don't realize, even though silver is 90%, or in the case of sterling, 925, right? There is a tremendous cost increase in refining between 999, 925, and 90%. A massive, massive increase. I love the Legos, by the way. The building bricks. The building bricks. But yeah, those Fender guitar picks, hot. Crocs, hot. There's definitely some hot pieces, guys. The Labyrinth, hot. My only regret is that I can't get more for my fellow silver degenerates. Although I am still fighting. So the dealer I got 45 from, let's see. Maybe they'll sit on his website for a week and then he'll say, okay, Tommy, we'll give you another 25. We'll give you another 30. We'll see. We'll all see. But guys, I love these Tuesday night talks. What kind of questions do you have? What kind of thoughts do you have? What are your favorite series? What are some of the things that you like to see in a collectible piece? Remember last year when we did Team South Park versus Team SpongeBob? Who remembers that? Give me a thumbs up if you remember that. When I put on my page, give me a thumbs up if you remember Team South Park versus Team SpongeBob. Remember that post, guys? It was about 2 years ago. Actually, no, it was a little more than a year ago. It was right before the pandemic. Charles remembers. Comsco has some really great stuff. Crazy Train remembers. So basically, one of the PAMP representatives reached out to me, and Alex Moda, he remembers, and they asked me to do a little test on Instagram. And this is right before the pandemic. And Pamp and I were developing a bigger relationship at the time. And then the pandemic hit, and that sort of went like everything else in life. Hey, what's up? Game Time Metals, Mike Foster in the house. But I'll tell you guys a secret. Pamp has licensing rights to both South Park and SpongeBob. Okay, turn your volume down because I'm not supposed to be saying that, I don't think. But I think you'll see in the next couple months. And if you remember that post, it was pretty much hands down Team South Park. And guess who's coming out? Give it a couple months, guys. I'm not saying you heard it here first. Team South Park. So here, let me see. Here, Dean Ellis. I'll see how you can find it. Let me see something, right? So if you go to Instagram and you hit search, if you go to what was it? Wasn't it Team South Park? I have to go find the post, but it was a really good one. What do I recommend as an affordable gift to someone in the hobby? I really like the little quarter grain, half grain cards that Benchmark puts out. I really like these bad boys, a little bit more significant. The 0.1 gram gold that I've almost always got available. Of course, the Silver Degenerates MS70 Eagle, always a very popular gift, guys. Shameless plug. But no, I think stocking stuffers are a great thing for all of us to participate in. Something like this. This is a form of a collector's piece. People stack them. They can put them in their wallet. They can do a lot of things with them, and they're easy to give as a gift. So that's definitely. What I like about copper, in terms of stacking it. I like Spectacular. By the way, check him out, guys, on YouTube, on Instagram. Good guy right there. I like the way copper strikes. It's well struck usually as a metal, and it holds its art well, and it impresses very well. It's obviously not as soft as silver, and it really. Yeah, exactly, Boxy. Exactly. When you're paying like $5 for a little quarter grain, you're paying for a novelty. You're paying for something that you can give as a gift. But I do like copper, and I'm a fan of copper. I'll get you, copper. You'll never get me, copper. All right. But yeah, I think stacking coppers it's fun, and you know what? It's going up in price. It's at a record high. Yeah, search only works if I remember the hashtags. Uh, shoot. I was just talking about this last week about content management and recording, the certain hashtags. But let's see. Yes. All right, guys. We're at about the 45-minute mark. I like these chats. Tuesday nights, just very casual, small, intimate. We can go back and forth. I always value your input. I always value your questions. I always want to hear what's on your mind and what you have to say. Boxy, you're ahead of the curve. Thank you, Speg. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to flesh these Tuesday nights out a little bit more. I'd like to bring more quality content into the informal sort of discussions. I was waiting on you to say nothing. Thank you, Dianellis. Look, knowledge is something we should all be sharing because none of us know everything. That's why I believe in collaboration over competition. Very important, very important. But I love you guys. You're really awesome. Follow Charlie Mack on YouTube and Instagram. Follow Spectacular on YouTube and Instagram. The reason I'm giving them particular shout outs is because the content creators are important to what we do, guys. Speg is a huge content creator. Charlie Mack is a huge content creator. Boxy's Precious Metal, he does good content, good entertaining stuff. Poured Arts, definitely. But you want to support the guys. I mean, not all of us have time to do this, right? If you work a 9 to 5 or a 9 to 7 or a 9 to 9, like some of us do, and more, nobody expects you to produce content, but you can support the content creators, and there's a role for everybody in this community like that. Thank you, Mike Chase. Where's Nestor? Where's Nestor? Thank you, Dianellis. Thank you all for all your support. Eddie Martinez in the house. Eddie number 1. I love you guys, though. I will see you. Hit me up if you're interested in a croc. Hit me up if you're interested in a pick. We got this, guys. How you stacking? See you tomorrow.